Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of South by Southwest. I'm Mr. Cellophane. How are you? If you've enjoyed the series so far, make sure you drop that like. Wanted to get that out of the way. We're starting off this episode. You remember last time we finished a 0-0 draw against Osnabrück. There's been a lot of action in the league between now and then as we are prepping for a matchup with the team sitting at the top of the table in real-life Bundesliga side, St. Pauli. But first I realized we haven't talked a little bit about our manager. This is Günter Gross. Now, initially I was thinking about doing the whole no badges, no experience thing, but then I realized we were already going to be behind the 8 ball enough, taking over a newly promoted team, expected to be relegated or at least be involved in the relegation promotion playoff at the very best. And we were limiting ourselves, obviously, to our transfers to just Saarland, which is such a small section of the nation of Germany, and relying on our youth academy with our youth system. So we made Günter Gross. We gave him a couple of coaching badges. We gave him a little bit of experience to kind of give that little bit of a leg up. Obviously, we put most of our points in working with youngsters and youngster knowledge on both the coaching and the mental side of things, just to kind of give us that additional little boost. So he starts off with a National B license. Now we are able to study for our National A. We were able to convince the board that would be a very good thing for us. And we gave him that little bit of professional football experience. Just kind of give that little goose to our coach. How have we done, though, since we last saw each other? Well, the answer is rather mediocre. However, we were able to follow up our 0-0 draw against Osnabrück with a 1-0 home victory against Hamburg, who was well ahead of us in the table at the time. Lucas Schnellenberger finally got himself off of the Schneid. Stock put a through ball in, and he made it 1-0 in the 35th minute, and that would be all we would need. Now, we did make some adjustments to the lineup for this match. We started Correa at center back. We started Derholtz in the midfield, and Vandermersch as our right back, because we found that Robin Fellhauer was getting cooked in that position, and more on that as we move on. We've kind of been moving Fellhauer around a little bit. Now, we were hoping that we would be able to then capitalize on that, but of course, Schellbacher then picked up a twisted ankle and was out 3 to 4 weeks, which meant we did not have him when we traveled on the road to Wiesbaden, and we did manage another goal for the second consecutive match. However, it just wasn't enough. Gino Fechner got things started in the 48th minute as he really wove his way through traffic, took a tough angle shot, and was still able to beat Nicholas Christoph short side to make it 1-0 Wiesbaden. Paul Vonner picking up his second goal of the year. He was able to score after a nice ball from Fellhauer, who was back in the match, however, playing in a more midfield position, while Vandermersch made his second consecutive start at right back. A ball over the top. It was the first shot of the match for ELVERSBERG, and we were able to put that in the back of the net. But Ivan Ptayin made us pay in the 81st minute. A very poor header from Correa looking to clear. Went right in. He popped it right into the middle, and Pryan was there to take advantage to give Wiesbaden a 2-1 victory. We followed that up with a home match against Greuther Fürth. Not a lot happened in the early going of this match. We did try to, because Greuther Fürth was behind us on the table, although by just a position or two, we did take a more positive mindset into this one. And Weig, we thought he got the scoring off fairly early, but he was offside. Conte had a chance in the 64th minute he couldn't take advantage of. We finally broke through off of a Vonner in-swinger corner onto the head of Marcel Correa to make it 1-0 in the 88th minute. But 7 minutes later, Armindo Saib and Greuther Fürth just sliced through our defense. A shot from the edge of the box. Christoph really should have saved it. He had a bit of a poor outing in this one. Cost us 2 points that we not only desperately needed, but frankly, we deserved in this match. Even if you look at the XG story, it kind of favored Günther Fürth for most of the middle section. This match really was one that we were controlling for the longest time, and we just could not take advantage. We then traveled to Kiel, and there's not really a lot to say about this. We had 0 shots on goal through the first half, only managed 4 in the whole match, none of them on target. Alex Mendez just absolutely destroyed us with goals in the first half in the 8th and 19th minutes. We just could not contain him at all. And then Correa, I believe it was, or was it Yakel that gave up a penalty in the 62nd minute, which Mendez was able to convert for the hat trick. We didn't really expect much out of the game against Kiel, but I was hoping for a little bit better of a performance. In fact, it was frankly very poor. We did manage to pick up another point at home against Braunschweig. Now, this one, not a lot was going on in the beginning, but persistence led to the goal that opened up the scoring for Ryan Philippe in the 19th minute, making it 1-0 Braunschweig. That would be the score at the half, and then Lucas Schellbacher finally finding the back of the net for the second time. He was back in the match, actually named player of the match as well. He had himself an excellent game. He took a square cross from Fiel, getting the start, because Vonner was coming back from international duty with the Austria U21s. So at least we were able to rescue a point in that one. And that's really how I'm looking at the final match we played before today's live match coming up against St. Pauli. And that was on the road at Magdeburg, a team that was sitting in 6th place at the time we took them on. And this was a pretty even match. It was kind of boring, frankly. There wasn't really a lot going on. We did try a few different things. We've been messing around with some of the positioning and some of the roles of our players. Still hanging on to a 4-2-3-1 for now. But we have been tweaking the roles a little bit, which will show as we get into the next match. Just 12 shots on goal from either side. For the longest time, Magdeburg led in the shots on goal department, but we're still ahead of them in XG because the chances they were taking just weren't very good. Defensively, we played incredibly well in this one. Our problem is we are just not scoring goals. As take a look, only a single goal for in any of the matches that we have actually scored. We've now gone 5 in a row without a win. However, we have picked up points in 5 of our last 7. So where does that leave us in the table? Well, 15th place, 2 points ahead of Nuremberg for the promotion relegation playoff spot. So we are currently safe. We are managing a lot of points in 7 of our 11 matches. It just has not been good enough to separate us from the relegation pack. However, if we are able to pull off a miracle, and I say a miracle because St. Pauli, they're pretty good. They've only lost the one time this year, a plus 12 goal difference through 11 matches. If we are able to pull off a win, though, you'll see we can pull as high as 10th place after the match today. How are we lining up? That is an excellent question. Still in a 4-2-3-1. Now we have moved our midfielders into more of a central midfield position, so they're getting started a little bit further up the pitch. We're no longer using a shadow striker. We've converted Stock into more of an attacking playmaker. We had done that before a couple of matches ago, just to help provide a better bit of a link up between the midfield and the attacking midfield. I feel like there was a lot of lacking in there. We were getting overrun quite a bit. We're also taking advantage of Neubauer's offensive prowess. We've got him in an attack role now. We've moved our left winger into a more of an inside forward position, so he's going to kind of get in these spaces a little bit more, which will leave room for Neubauer to come up this side. And we've converted, one of the reasons why we moved up to a midfield rather than a defensive midfield is I do love the Carolero role. He'll provide some, right now it's Vonner. We listened to our assistant manager accidentally clicked the button saying use their selection device, so we are going to be moving the players around just a little bit. Samir Shaheen is in there. He's still coming back from an injury. I think he's passed his fitness test, so he should be good for this whole match. He did get the start in the 0-0 draw against Magdeburg in our last match. So Neubauer. So we've shortened up the passing a little bit. We do have them looking for the overlap on the left side with Neubauer, and we've moved, gone to try to use the wide spaces a little bit more, gone to a more wide offensive position, and we are no longer trying to work the ball into the box. Hopefully we're going to get a couple of more shots on goal. So let's rearrange things a little bit. Vonner is going to come in. Fiel, we are obviously going to be taking out. I think we're going to move Shaheen into that role, and we're going to bring in Carlo Sickinger as his midfield partner. Going to leave Neubauer. Jackal has been pretty good so far this season. 7.0 rating in his last 7 games. He's training pretty well. Obviously 6'4". We like to see that. Who we've been partnering with has kind of changed. Lejoncourt just got the start in the last match. We brought him in. Correa's been okay. He obviously has the 1 goal. He's a little bit older though, so and he made that obvious glaring mistake, which led to the second Vejan Wiesbaden goal. So I think we're going to leave Lejoncourt in there. So it's going to be Christoph, Neubauer, Lejoncourt, Jakob, Fellhauer, Samir Shaheen, Sicklinger with Stock at the number 10, flanked by Rochel and Vonner. Vonner has just been absolutely excellent. The 17-year-old on loan from Bayern Munich. There's no way we'd be able to afford him, so we need to take advantage of his skill while we can. And Schnellbacher is going to get the start. Vahid Fashir did pick up an injury in the last game. He is unavailable. Let's get Salif Cisse up on the onto the bench. We're going to pull off Arnie Sicker. Arnie Sicker's a little unhappy right now. He wanted to go out on loan. Now it's the beginning of November. I couldn't send him out on loan even if I wanted to. So I basically told him so, and he did not take very kindly to that. He's been the primary backup to Neubauer, but Neubauer has basically played every minute of every game so far. Luca Dernholtz may come on fairly quickly for Shaheen if we're not liking what we see there. Fellhauer is going to drop back to the fullback. We have been playing him a little bit in this role, but I think Fellhauer is going to get the start as part of our back 4. So we look to get into the match, taking on Fabian Hertzler's St. Pauli. Again, in real life, they had a pretty decent season, still a lower half team in the Bundesliga, but in their first full season up in the top flight, they did quite well for themselves, especially late in the game. So we are hosting St. Pauli, hoping against all hope to at least escape with a point. I did put it on extended highlights originally while I was playing through those matches just to check and see how our new formation was doing, but I'm going to spare you all of that as we look to control the ball early. Looks like an early foul against Rochel there, but the highlight is going to end. So all in all, we've been playing okay. Now, some of the losses, some of the draws have been due to obvious defensive errors, but generally speaking, we played defensively pretty well. Yeah, we gave up the 3 to Holstein Kiel. That was not unexpected. Vonner getting a little careless with the ball. Lee taking over. Out wide, Ritzke gets past Fellhauer, but Vonner comes back and makes up for his mistake. Other than that, I mean, we haven't been letting up a lot of goals. We kept a clean sheet against Hamburg, just the 1 against Vejan, 2 against Vejan Wiesbaden, excuse me. 1 coming again off of that error like we were talking about. Just the 1 for Günther Fürth and the 1 for Braunschweig. Rochel is in there. He takes the shot from just inside the box. There he is. Yannick Rochel with his 2nd of the year. And ELVERSBERG taking a 1-0 lead at home against St. Pauli, and I think turning off that work the ball into the box instruction worked in our favor. Great pass by Schellbacher. Rochel just splitting the defense, not giving them a chance to get in front of him, beats Vasile for the goal in the 9th minute. First shot of the match for either side, and ELVERSBERG looking pretty good at home, and I almost decided to do the Magdeburg match as the live comm for this episode, and I'm right now very glad that I did not, because, well, you guys got to see a goal for the home team. Fellhauer plays it off of the dead ball, played through Rochelt. Yannick Rochelt, he's got his brace. Third goal of the season, second of the night. 27 and a half minutes in, off of the free kick. Fellhauer played it to Stock, moved it to his left. Quick one-time pass. Shaheen. Rochelt again splitting the defenders, that right center back and the right back. Just a little bit too wide, letting us through. 2-0 ELVERSBERG, and we're looking for more. Rochelt back out, gets it back in the box. Does he have a hat trick in him? No. Easy shot handled by Vasilia. He did so well, as they said in the commentary, until the finish. St. Pauli just with a single shot on goal through this first match. And the team is finally starting to look as I envision them. Maybe the changes that we have made just to tweak the tactic, tweak those player roles a little bit, have worked wonders so far. Liancourt is going to look to move it forward. Just a couple of minutes left in this first half. Stock, quick pass out wide. Neubauer is going to carry it deep, plays it into the middle. Smith clears it away. Banks helps it along, but it'll be picked up there again by Rochelt. Liancourt, back for Rochelt. If we can just get a runner. There it is. He's Stock. What a first touch. He's in, he shoots, and he scores. Second goal of the season for Paul Stock. What a move. Splitting that first touch was absolutely fantastic, and the pass could not have been better. Rochelt, great vision to pick out Stock. Again, in between the two defenders. Neither of them could get in front of him. Vasilia couldn't do anything about it. I feel bad for the St. Pauli goalkeeper. I mean, they came into this match at the top of the table. Stock picking it off, looking to move it forward. Can we make it 4 before the half? Smith tries to deny it, but it comes to Shaheen. Vol back to Shaheen. A lot of that was happening against to us in the Braunschweig game, where we'd like knock it away, but it'd go right to the opposition, looking for Sicklinger. But it comes back, played over. Rochelt's there, save made by Vasilia, and then Rochelt will touch it in an offside position. 3 shots on goal in the half for St. Pauli, none of them on target. 7 shots on target for ELVERSBERG, and 3 of them finding the back of the net. An absolutely dominant performance so far for this team, and I really could not be happier. We're doing it on a balanced mentality. I almost dropped it back to a little bit more cautious, knowing that we were playing a team that theoretically should have dominated us in this match. Possession pretty even through the first 60 minutes. A pair of goals for Yannick Rochelt. I did not expect that, because we had to pull him after 65 minutes or so in the Magdeburg match, because he just was not getting it done. Luca Derholtz is going to come in for Stock. Stock with a goal, but he's feeling a little bit knackered. We're going to get Vonner off as well and bring Feel in. And Liancourt feeling a little bit complacent, but if you've watched enough of my videos on my streams, you know I don't love replacing one of the center backs in the middle of the match if I don't have to. Smith, to start off, about 12 minutes remaining in regulation. Still a lot of time for St. Pauli to do something, so we can't get overly confident. Liancourt, though, stepping up and making a play. Rochelt with it, pushes it wide, drops it back. Nice backheel pass to Neubauer. Shaheen, we're smelling ourselves a little bit now. Derholtz over the top. Feel is going to get in there, squares it, and there's Lukas Schellbacher, his 3rd goal of the season. You know that things are going well for ELVERSBERG when Schellbacher gets involved in the scoring. And I thought for 1 second at the beginning of this highlight that St. Pauli may have been looking to pull one back. So you just can't do anything with us right now. Lukas Schellbacher actually getting forward. Now, Feel has made a couple of passes like, oh, God. I knew it was too good to be true, so Fellhauer is going to come out. We'll get Vandermeer in there. We'll also bring out Shaheen and put in Salif Cisse. Give him a couple of minutes. Only about 8 to go. Make an impact in the time that we have remaining. They're still composed. They're professionals. They are doing their job. Just 5 shots on goal for St. Pauli. The 1 on target. Throw in, though, at the edge of the final third. These are always so dangerous. but they're still knocking it around. Metcalf, Sickinger deals with it. Smith gets it back, rockets it, and it's going to go over the bar for a goal kick. I thought for a second there that Kristoff may have gotten a hand on it. Neubauer to take the corner, throwing it in. Schellbacher can't get there. It comes to Derholtz. Derholtz with a drive. That would have been great. What a touch by Derholtz, and to take it on the half volley. Kind of let the... He held the ball up long enough for the defender to get just past him. And there we go. Full time has been achieved. And was there ever a doubt in your mind that we were going to win this one? Elversberg 4, St. Pauli 0. First match of the season where we have scored more than one goal. It was an absolutely stellar performance, and it will move us into 12th, as it looks like a couple of other teams. Schalke moved up, so they must have won, which kept them ahead of us. Greuther Fürth staying in position with 14 points. We did pass by Braunschweig, who was the team who was in 10th, if I remember correctly. Maybe Paderborn moving up. Either way, being in 12th, we now have 5 points separating us from that playoff promotion relegation position at Nuremberg, and all is right with the world, and things are looking good. Can we keep it going as we head on the road? We got Schalke next, followed by Paderborn at home. We're going to come back to the last match before the Christmas break. It's a road game against Karlsruhe, currently sitting in 15th, so right with us on the table. And hopefully we can take the momentum from the St. Pauli game and just keep moving, keep trucking, and move our way up the table and ensure our safety for this year, because that's really just the goal. If you enjoyed that, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you haven't done so already, thank you all for your support, and I'll see you next time. Until then, bye-bye.